end of like the 6th or 7th episode, I was like, what the actual fuck is going on? Like, moving on to Prime original show, Sterling Point, created by Megan Park. Sterling Point is an 8-episode coming-of-age drama series streaming now on Prime Video. It follows 17-year-old overachiever Annie Jacobson and her twin brother Connor as they inherit an island in Canada from their estranged grandfather, which leads to unexpected summer relationships, local dynamics, and family revelations. So, Kadija, I would love to hear some of your first impressions, some of your spoiler-free first impressions.
I have never been to Muskoka, so anything set in Muskoka, I'm always like, this is cute. I'd love to. I've been to White Pine, and I was like kind of across from Muskoka, so like kind of close. But anyways, I love the Muskoka vibes, what I'm trying to say. And this show is riddled with that. Also, just anything that Megan Park does. Ever since my old ass, I was like, I'm seated for anything. So I always knew I was going to watch the show. You have Ella Rubin, who I've become quite a fan of as well. She was in Until Dawn. She was in The Idea of You. I've always just really enjoyed her on screen. So again, was going to watch for that. I just think it's wonderfully acted. It's truly a coming of age, and found family, which is a trope that I love when it comes to any sort of media, really. And it does it in a way that doesn't feel like Megan Park is like playing into the tropes at all. She does it in a way that feels very effortless, and you don't really know what's happening until it happens. And it feels very grounded and accessible, even though like some of these people are like really rich kids. But then you do have the class gap because you do see how other characters are living. It's kind of feel good, even though at some moments it really doesn't feel good to be witnessing. But I just feel like all these characters are really well thought out, well fleshed out. There's not really a villain in this show, which I have also just really come to enjoy. And I've seen cases on Twitter, people are trying to make certain characters out to be, who I don't think they are, and I don't think Megan Park's intended them to be. So we'll talk more about that. But yeah, I just think overall it's a really well done show. The cinematography is fantastic, costume design, music. I just think this is kind of a near perfect show for me, truly. How about you?
Same. I found it like really fun, and to be honest, I was not expecting to like it maybe as much as I did. Actually, I ended up having a very good time with it. The biggest strength for me was the cast by far. Like you said, like Ella Rubin is a massive standout. She's incredibly likable and relatable, and like there's just like a very effortless quality to her performance that makes it almost impossible not to root for her in every scene. Like I found her so silly, she's so and like everything felt so natural as well. Like the dialogue she says, like she kind of almost interrupts herself to like finish talking. And it makes so much sense, and it's so how I speak or how other people I know my age speak. So it felt very relatable. And I found a lot of the performances throughout the entire show like elevate the material a lot, like despite like I'll get into some of the issues I had later, but I really appreciated how natural the relationships felt. Like Megan Park clearly just has a fantastic understanding of friendship dynamics, like the awkwardness, the banter, the little misunderstandings, the moments when you're like annoyed with someone you love, and like these relationships feel messy and frustrating, and exactly the way that teenage relationships are and can feel. Also, like a littler thing, but I also loved how little phones and like social media kind of factor into the story. Like the characters actually talk to each other. It almost makes the island kind of feel like a refuge from modern life. And I think that gave the show like a more timeless feeling, I think, almost, and like a really distinct atmosphere. And then I also loved just kind of general like LGBTQ plus representation, and like how it's handled naturally. Like queerness isn't treated as some huge dramatic revelation or issue. It kind of exists as part of these characters' lives. And I really appreciated that fluidity like around sexuality. And then my main thing was that I loved that so many of these actors like are not already kind of household names. Like some of them are like Ella Rubin is definitely getting up there.
If you say Ella Rubin to like an average person,
no, like no,
she's
definitely like a growing talent.
Yeah.
Like I don't think like Jeffrey Dean Morgan is probably the most well-known person in the show.
Yeah.
And then Connor is
Mark
played by Mark
Duplass.
Ruffalo's son.
Yeah. No one knows Keen Ruffalo.
No, they don't. No, they don't. He's not like a big actor by
He
any
was
means, but if you
in
say the name Ruffalo.
That movie that we watched at TIFF last year. It's now called Nimrods, but it was like New Year's Rev.
Oh,
yeah.
Oh, yeah. He's the older brother. Is he the older brother?
Yeah.
Yes. Okay. I actually really like that movie.
I did
It's
too,
coming out soon. Anyway, yeah, I love that they're not household names. There's like something about watching unfamiliar faces that like makes the whole thing feel so much more authentic. Like you're not constantly thinking like, oh, I know that person from this thing, or like saying you're like thinking of them as the character, not like Tom Holland. That's Tom Holland on the screen. It's
I think that's because like
Annie.
Certain actors like have become so big off of one character that once you put them in something else, you're just like, oh, well, that's person from that person. It's like you can't really connect the two. Whereas like Ella Rubin, specifically because she is the lead, she can slip into Annie Jacobson because we've never really seen her in anything big. I mean, I've seen her in Until Dawn, and she was Anne Hathaway's daughter in The Idea of You, but like beyond that, there isn't a role that's defined her career thus far. Yeah. This might be it, to be honest, but she still has that ability to kind of be any character and have the story not hinge on her being Ella Rubin.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
I think that is a pitfall of something like The Summer I Turned Pretty. Like, I do not think Lola Tongue is ever escaping.
No. And
Ellie.
that's
like,
yeah, that's fan culture.
Like, I think, it's tough. But overall, it's messy, it's heartfelt, it's occasionally a little bit clunky, but incredibly easy to get invested in. I think I really, really liked it. So from this point forward, we will be getting into spoilers.
So if you have not watched episodes 1 through 8, the whole season of Sterling Point, please come back when you have, because we will be talking about it in depth. But Olivia, do you want to kick off the spoiler discussion with things that you liked, didn't like, the plot, themes, anything?
I would love to. For me, like the heart of Sterling Point is the relationships between the characters, and Annie's relationship with Rory and Ellis could have easily become one of those exhausting teenage love triangles that the entire audience is kind of expected to pick a side. I did find myself kind of because of a love triangle, it's like, oh, I'm comparing it to The Summer I Turned Pretty, like another Prime show. But I was so pleasantly surprised with how they handled this love triangle. I also was like so happy Rory didn't end up being evil.
Yes.
Like I was so expecting him to be like evil rich man, like he like has assaulted someone or like he did some crazy thing, but he just like ended up being super nice and like understanding.
Quite literally every time he did something like nice or said something like that was oddly out of character being like rich white man, me and my sister would be like, no, like he's so cute, like
he's so cute
like you do want to, you have assumptions based on his archetype of character, and then he does what Rory does, I think, and you just are like, wow, like really transcending the game, Rory,
really transcending the game. And it does feel like it's kind of trying to manufacture like the Team Rory versus Team Ellis kind of ship war.
I don't think you can though.
No, I don't think you can. And I think the show turns out to be more like Annie figuring out what she actually wants and needs from this other person.
Yeah.
And like she's experiencing these relationships and like trying to like understand herself through them, which I think makes for like a really good love triangle. And oh my God, I just loved both of their characters so much. Like Ellis in particular was a character I loved. He's so sweet and constantly just like trying to take care of everyone around him. He has this like really endearing quality that made it really easy to root for him. Also, I'm sorry, your eyelashes? Hello. Gorge.
Oh my God.
Like fluttering like
eyelashes.
He was gorgeous. And then Rory also really surprised me. I went into this expecting, like I said, like that rich boy character to inevitably do something terrible. I was like fully prepared for like, of course, this guy is secretly awful because your mom is terrible. But instead, I found him really endearing too. Like I genuinely reached a point where I was like, I do not know who I want her to be with.
Yeah.
And also Rory, I don't know who that actor. I looked him up now. It's him something,
Daniel,
but
I think
Daniel Q something,
Yeah.
and he's Scottish,
I
and
know.
he has an adorable little Scottish accent, and I love him. But along with the characters, with the relationships, the friendship dynamics is also where Megan Park really soared, and I think is the strongest as a writer. There is like an understanding of how teenagers actually communicate that I so appreciated. Like people interrupt each other, they talk too quickly, they say something awkward and kind of immediately regret it. They don't always articulate what they're feeling, and like the dialogue isn't perfect, but the dynamic under the dialogue feels real, which never happens in like a teen show.
Mm-hmm.
And like so the scenes like around the fire near the end when we were talking about Maple and her period, like that was one of my favorites of the whole show. It felt so real. It felt so heartfelt and lovely and like just girlhood on a
Yeah.
TV screen.
Yeah.
And like there's just something about putting these characters together in like this relatively simple setting and kind of just allowing their personalities and relationships to come through that works so incredibly well on this show. I was just such a big fan of how they communicated, how the writing. My main issue with the show is the storylines got so convoluted and I was confused by the ending. Like the main arc of the show is Annie and her twin brother Connor, who is this kind of really
Himbo.
lax, like like kind of dumb, like, or we think he's dumb, like chill guy. Find out they are adopted and they have a single dad.
Yeah.
And we find out that the estranged grandfather of their dead adoptive mother has also died and has left them a piece of land in Muskoka. The adoptive father, is aware of this, gets kind of involved and doesn't let them kind of know the full story. Annie finds out there is more to the story and ends up going to Canada by herself to kind of figure this out. Where she then meets another girl younger than her who is also the granddaughter of her adoptive grandfather. And that girl looks just like her adoptive mother. And then so on and so forth. We understand their dynamics. I like it. By the end of like the 6th or 7th episode, I was like, what the actual fuck is going on? Like, how am I meant to follow this? I think also them being adopted made it so much more confusing to me.
I was going to say, this is maybe sounds weird to say, but I almost wish that like the adopted thing wasn't a thing because they're both white. So I'm just, to me, it's computing like that's your dad, like that's your biological dad because they're both white. If it was like a person of color, that distinction would be very clear and I would never get confused. And I feel like that would have helped somewhat. Do you know what I mean?
I definitely agree because I also just got to a point where I'm like, I literally think they only made them adopted because so that Ellis and Annie could be together without it being weird. But because people were like associating,
God.
but I don't know if that's true. Like, and even then, Ellis's dad and Annie's adoptive mother still had like an affair. So it was giving the Fosters, but yeah, the storylines just got so incredibly convoluted because once we meet Ramona, that adds like a whole other kind of layer of confusion, and then her family gets brought into it in terms of because we don't know her dad, but we find out that her dad might be Ellis's dad, but it also could be Annie and Connor's dad.
Yeah.
And her mom also cheated on the adoptive dad with another man unrelated to the story, but got pregnant by the man she was married to that they thought they were sterile. So I get it, but I was like, why have we made this so convoluted? Like, I feel like there could have been like a simpler way of getting here, but it felt like really confusing. And that was definitely my main issue with it. But
You laying it out like that, genuinely would have to agree. But I think because I watched it in like 1.5 sittings, I was okay with how long was it a
I
one?
did it over 3 days.
Okay.
Like, because I kept having to stop.
I feel like if you're gonna binge it all and like right there and then, because it's fresh in your mind, whatever. And I also like my sister and I would like do a Q&A, every episode of like what happened, and like doing a recap for each other. So that honestly helped having someone else there. But yeah, it was a lot. It seemed like every single episode there was a new thing revealed, which got like my anxiety going, but also being like, okay, what? And then how does this add? And you're trying to like string it all in your head, and it just like it got really stressful trying to keep it all together. So yeah, I totally agree with you in that part.
Instead of everything kind of naturally feeding into one larger story, I feel like there were moments where it felt like several different shows were kind of competing for screen time. It just was like really dense. And it just kind of made it less enjoyable for me sometimes. But for the most part, I cared about the characters, so I cared about the plot, I guess. Like I said earlier, also something I loved was the LGBTQ plus representation on the show, the fluidity around sexuality, and the fact that they kind of just like don't stop to explain it. These characters like can just be queer without their entire storyline becoming about being queer. Like Una could kind of just like be a lesbian and like kind of be this like fluid person without it kind of being a point of contention. And like same with Ramona
and Sully.
Yeah, like it was just kind of I think it was one of those shows like biggest strengths. It just like felt like an actual group of young people rather than like a very sanitized version of like teenage life. Yeah. I'd love to hear some of your thoughts.
I honestly loved the characters. Like you said, that genuinely is what made me attached to the show, because I usually give a show 3 episodes and I'm like, wait. As soon as Ramona stepped in, I was like, sisters. Immediately, I'm gonna love the show. I love anything about sisters. And so when Ramona came in, and I think I feel like enemies to lovers is really crazy to say about this relationship, but it truly was. It was enemies to sisterhood in a way that I don't think we get a lot of the time. And it was enemies, like real enemies. Like I could see that, you could see that Ramona like genuinely hated the fact that Annie was there, and vice versa. Or Annie was really more trying to get her on her side, but Ramona was like, what the hell is going on here? And so that character dynamic playing out the way that it did, it was great to watch, and probably my favorite parts of the whole show. I absolutely loved that one scene where Annie's just brushing Ramona's hair
and
just talking after her kiss with Ellis, and there's this one part where I just feel like when I say this show like really feels like you're just on FaceTime with people, like truly, because Annie's like fully describing like her kiss, and she's like, I'm talking, and then she just stops talking and is like focused on brushing Ramona's hair, to the point where Ramona goes and she like looks back and does a weird face like, girl, what were you saying? Like she's fully in the middle of her thought and just stopped, and then she's like, yes. Right, and then she like, continues to talk again. I was like, okay, like she fully had a glitch or a pause, and I felt like we never see that in a scripted show.
It would be edited out normally, I feel like,
immediately. But that is one of the things, like maybe it was missed, or like it was there, it was added for some sort of realism. But whatever it is, I loved, and I want more of it, because that was A, funny as hell, and B, like so relatable. I was just like, okay, that's me. I do that all the time. I totally agree on the relationships, and the LGBTQ representation is truly one of the best things about this movie. I feel like Megan Park, all her projects that she's made so far, has had sapphic representation, which we love to see. The Fallout, My Old Ass, and even though people love to argue with me about it, it still is queer. And obviously with this show, also like Una being there's no sort of like tragic coming out story for Una or for Ramona. Like as soon as I saw that carabiner on Ramona's shorts, I said lesbian
Mhm. Yeah,
immediately.
lesbian.
And I think that's really a great like appreciation and nod we have to like give the costume designer some flowers, because that is something about like the queer community that's like you if you know, you know. Do you know what I mean? And I
Yeah.
think like she didn't have to announce who she was. The outfit did the talking for her. She did actually say she was gay, but that's only because Annie was confused on the relationship between Una and Ramona. Beyond that, like you could tell that she was queer from the moment she stepped onto screen, which was wonderful. I loved Sully and Connor's little mini moments that they had. Low key shipping
Yes.
them. So sorry, whatever was going on there, I want more of. I fear.
Yeah.
I did love seeing that. And also Indigenous representation with Ellis and Ellis's mom, which was really great and would be really weird if you set a show or a movie in Canada didn't include Indigenous people. So love to see it. And then before I go to Annie and Ellis and Rory's love triangle, I do want to say again, maybe I'm just too woke, but like I was genuinely thinking like, where are the black girls? I feel like in YA shows we have literally lost black girls. In Overcompensating, no black girl. In what's that show called? Adults, no black girl. I Love LA, shout out True Whitaker. In Sterling Point, no black girl. Yet in every party or function that they go to, there's always black people. So I'm confused. Do you know what I mean? And I feel like maybe I'm asking for
True.
too much and like shouldn't be looking to for
Not too
like
much.
I don't know. I don't know,
That's
but I'm
not too
just
much.
like
That's not too much to ask.
for one singular black girl in all these shows. I feel like I'm not the only one that has these concerns. I've seen black creators talking about it on there's been articles written about it like where did all the black girls go years ago, but it's slowly becoming a crisis that I can no longer ignore. But it doesn't really deter my enjoyment from the show. It's just an observation that I have. Hashtag noticing is all I'm saying. But I would love to see a black female character in season 2 because hopefully it does go to season 2. But back to Annie, Ellis, and Rory. I just want to basically reiterate what you said. I think it's so refreshing to have a love triangle that A doesn't include brothers. I'm tired of a girl choosing between brothers. Dead it, put it to sleep. I'm tired.
Mm-hmm.
And not only do you have two boys, but you have two boys who are so different from one another, but also both genuinely have a connection with the female character, and it's a true connection. Like you can't really look at it and be like one's better than
Yeah.
the other or one boy is better than the other. They both
Yeah.
help Annie in a way that is each unique to their personalities. I feel like Rory is someone who hypes her up and like will match her energy. And also she felt safe enough to experiment with him like sexually because she did think she was asexual before like she came to this island, and he was the only person she had sex with. And then you have Ellis, who's kind of like the one that like lets her yap while he listens, and that's displayed perfectly in episode 7 when they're at this camp. And like one of my favorite scenes also where she's just brain dumping all her thoughts and feelings onto him, and he's just standing there taking it,
Yeah.
and she's like, oh my god, I can't believe I spoke all my inner and deep thoughts to you. And he's like, you're fine, which is something he says a lot to reassure her because she always thinks she's doing a lot, and he's like, you're not.
Yeah.
Which is so sweet. And seems like she's a words of affirmation girl because I feel like she calms down after that. So I love Annie and Alice, but I also love Rory as well. So I just think really refreshing to see that there's no teams here. Like this is not Summer Turn Pretty. This is not Twilight.
Yeah.
Take your team shit elsewhere. We're team Sterling Point. So that's what we are. Okay. Yeah. Like enough. Yes. I don't think there are any like pacing issues that I had issues with or like structural issues. Maybe I do agree with you that there was a lot going on in terms of plot, but to be honest, I was kind of gagging every time there was like, oh, and this, okay, cool, okay, and this, all right, shit, what's happening now? That reveal, episode 7, when it turned out that Ramona is colorblind, and then so
that kind of gagged me.
Yeah, that so is Annie's adoptive dad. Holy shit! Because then you realize they could have a child after all, and he just like basically abandoned her. Because he
was devastating to learn as that man. I felt really bad for the father. He was literally going through the worst last week of his
Yeah.
life.
Yeah. I also feel like if anyone was the villain, I don't think there is no villains, like I said before. But if anyone were to be a villain, it would be the mom. But you can't really speak ill
Denise.
of the
Oh,
dead. Yes. Who's
sorry. I
Denise?
thought you meant Denise was
No, I
Denise
mean
is
Goldie.
Gloria's
I
mom.
mean Goldie. I mean both of them actually. Put them in the same box together.
But
Okay.
yeah, Goldie really was running around, doing some
Brown.
stuff. And they
Yes.
kind of the dad kind of maybe alluded to her committing suicide or kind of like dying, or like she was like she went crazy.
Yeah.
Like he kept kind of saying that, and I was like, why are we saying that? I mean, like she cheated on him, which is not good.
Yeah.
But like I don't he was really making it seem like she went crazy, like she made all these bad choices, like she was unfit to like take care of you.
Mm-hmm.
Basically, like, so I like took the kids back. I don't know. It just like felt really weird and almost felt like he was alluding to her like harming herself or like harming the kids, but I was like, why are we doing this? And then like neither of Annie or Connor like kind of brought that up again or like mentioned that.
Yeah.
And I was like, I feel like I would like want more answers. Like I know she's kind of like where we ended up was like she's staying in Sterling Point and kind of learning more and like wanted to feel connected to the mom, but like I feel like I would not have been happy with the level of information I got.
No, absolutely not. And I feel like that also lends to like Annie crying every episode. I'm like, girl,
Every
wipe
episode.
them tears. She could not catch a single break on such a peaceful island. She was having a very unpeaceful time. Like she
Yes.
could not, for the life of her, actually have a single day where there was no drama, and I felt really bad. But also Ramona too, because she was like, by default, like she's also in this bitch. Like,
Yeah, and she also was giving Serena Vanderwoodsen being like, I have to go. I
yeah,
have to go. I gotta go. Every inconvenience she gets, I gotta go. Like walking out, disappear,
yeah.
walk away.
And
Also,
so
Barry Ontario mentioned
Barry
crazy. I've
Ontario
like never.
mentioned, and she literally, oh my god, I took a photo of it, and it's like, yeah, there's literally no vibes there. So true.
So funny. So
Like,
funny.
yeah, I just think Megan Park really knows how to write teenagers and teenagers that don't feel like characters. Like I said, I think what made me become aware of that truly was Fallout was fine, but like seeing Maisie Stella as Elliot, I was like, this girl has something. She knows what she's doing. And I
Yeah.
also appreciate that she lets her young cast improvise. She'll write
Yeah.
something, but she is not like a stickler where it's like it has to be what I've written has to be done. Like I know writers like Aaron Sorkin is like, I've written everything to a certain beat and like a melody. So like keep it to that. Where she's like, if I've written something and you don't feel like it's true to your character, say what you think is true to your character. And like if your character would say a joke here, like go do that. And this young cast was given a lot of freedom to say bits and improvise on this, which I think allowed for another added layer of like what everyone's saying is like this show feels very real and like true to Gen Z and like the humor of it all, because most of them are like I say most, I think all actually, and it's just really great that she allows young people to have that type of space and like also to be playful and creative like that.
Absolutely.
I think just like fosters for a really great community on set, and you can definitely like it pays off on screen as well. So shout out to Megan Park. I would love to be a fly on the wall on one of her sets, to be honest. And also I don't know if you saw the credits, but Rafi Donachich, I feel like I'm saying her name wrong.
Is that the girl that helped write Poetic License?
Yes, Rafi Donachich is one of the producers. Yeah, it's just like what a fun little connection.
Similar vibes. I would say like from like even how Cooper and Andrew like speak in that movie. I feel like is quite similar.
Yeah. I love movies and shows about young people by people who truly understand and don't never want to like mimic or look down upon young people's problems and the issues that they face. And yeah, it just feels like a really lived in world, and I want to spend all my time there. I'm really excited for season 2, and like hopefully they do get a season 2. And if they do, honestly, Megan Park, fight for at least 15 episodes. Because what I think a lot of people are also loving about the show, and I love about it, is that it is an original show. It is not based on any IP.
Yeah.
So we could have gone 10, we could have got 15. I know people don't do 15, and it's rare nowadays on in the streaming era that we're in, but I mean, girl, go stupid, go crazy. tell them that you need 15 because it must be 15. But I digress. Great show. I think I liked it a bit more than you did, but nevertheless.
I liked it a lot. I was more just the confusingness I found kind of overwhelming. Or like I just found the denseness of the storyline kind of like distracting. But I really liked the characters a lot. I love Ella Rubin. I loved Ellis and Rory. I liked Una a lot. It was just like really fun vibes. Good time. Like
truly. They all have, you know, mommy and daddy issues, but I love them nonetheless.
Down.
Sorry,
also,
Una's parents.
Every scene with what? Where are? No. Let's get on that because where are they? And what happened? And why is she taking care of her 12-year-old sister?
It's really sad because she's obviously like trying to live her life, her young ho life, but she can't because she's also a caretaker to her younger sister. And I think that would be so stressful on someone who's like 17, having to take care of someone who you're a sister to, but you're now also a sort of a mom as well. It just, I hate, not hate, but like I hate to see, actually, I do hate to see characters like that in any sort of like TV show where I'm like, oh, I really feel for characters that do have to take care of their younger sibling and step in the role of the parent when the parent's like off to do who knows what. Apparently she's like in India, like being a shaman or some shit. I don't fucking know.
Because I was like, my mom was talking to me during the 2 times Una was talking at the beginning when she kind of explained why she was in Muskoka, and then the second time when she was kind of explaining what happened to her mom. Like both times I just missed it. I have no did they explain
basically,
where the mom is?
Yeah, basically the mom kind of like follows around boyfriend. So they've moved to different parts of the world because the mom's relationship has taken them there. And so they landed in Muskoka because the mom was dating a Canadian guy, but then she wound up like breaking up with them or something. And then she went to India to like either A, find herself, or B, date someone who was from India or like went to India. I don't know. But definitely in India to meditate or whatever. It was like, so you want to find like a peace of mind. I don't think you ever will because you have 2 kids who are actually in Canada with no supervision. It just doesn't make any sense to me. And I just felt like really sad. So she's like holding a lot of hurt, which also plays into her and Ramona's relationship, which I cannot believe I have not talked about yet. Absolutely I love Friends to Lovers. Oh my God. I was like cheering, like literally giggling, kicking my feet at any interaction between these 2 girls. And I also loved when it was also episode 7. Yeah, no, it was before that. The first time like they make out, Ramona says like, I'm not really comfortable with my boobs, which is like kind of alluding to her maybe having some gender identity like issues. Correct. But the way in Una like takes it in totally is like, that's okay, like fine, like I think your boobs are perfect. And then Ramona's like, you've never seen my boobs. And then Una's like, but they're perfect anyways. And then when she does get to see her boobs, she's like, fuck, you're so beautiful. And it's just like appreciating your partner's body in whatever form they want to express themselves. I just think it was really, really beautiful. And
yes,
it did end on not such a good note. That argument scene devastated me truly more than anything, because like I said, Una has mommy issues and Ramona easily
so does Ramona.
Yeah, so does Ramona, truly, but like Una's is very like present, and Ramona's like, you have fucking mommy issues and you're trying to push me away. And that's exactly what happened between them. Ramona did push Una away, and I think vice versa. Honestly, they were just being very catty towards one another, and it led for a breakup, even though we got them literally an episode ago. So yeah, I need a season 2 actually, just for them to have some sort of resolution. I fear. So yeah. Anything else? Sorry, you were talking about Annie.
Oh, it was also, sorry, I had to rotate because my computer was gonna die. Annie's hair every episode, I was just like, oh my God, it's falling in such a perfect, gorgeous, beautiful way. I wish my hair looked like that. I was obsessed with how she looked. She's like the most beautiful one I've ever seen. Yeah, she just looks stunning in every scene, in every outfit. Her hair kind of has that like messy, curly quality, and that just like looks so good always. And like I love when kind of people's hair, especially in shows, was just like it just kind of is there. Like it's you can like put it up and it's kind of messy and it doesn't look so perfect. Like I would have been devastated if they had like put any of them like in a wig to like to
I
have
know.
consistency.
Yeah.
Like nothing grinds my gears more than like when Joey King in the fucking kissing booth is like wearing an ugly ass wig just so they can kind of like keep her hair consistent for like a couple
Yeah.
for like this day. And anyway, I totally agree with what you just said. I loved Una and Ramona's relationship. Devastated we really only got them for like 1.5 episodes before breaking up. But yeah, I'm good to move on to more of the craft behind the show.
Kick it off.
But it's kind of stuff we've already spoken about because I do feel like the biggest strength as a filmmaker that Megan Park has and as a writer is like just her understanding of people and relationships. There is just like a specificity to the way these characters interact that makes the show feel like lived in, like we've been saying, like the fast talking banter, the moments of tension between friends, like those details like really just work a lot. And like I said at the beginning, I think the decision to keep phones and social media kind of relatively absent is particularly smart in a genre that can kind of feel completely consumed by texting or Instagram or TikTok or Snapchat or like something happening online. Like I filmed this, and so that's going to be like the crux of the show is I filmed you saying this, and this is and I'm going to expose you. That just is like literally always the fucking plot of something. It just creates this really timeless feeling where the characters have to like actually sit together and talk and deal with their shit and like work together on something. And
because also there, like every single episode there was a different event happening. There was movie night, there was boat night, there's places to be, people to see, so they actually could not avoid each other even if they wanted to, because the whole town, I guess, like comes to this whatever event is on that day. And that's how they figure out their beef.
I also feel like it helps kind of distinguish it a bit from other like contemporary teen dramas, that it feels less interested in presenting like an aspiration of teenage life and like more interested in observing how these people relate to one another. I also feel like the Canadian setting is like another huge part of that. I love that the show doesn't feel embarrassed about being Canadian. It kind of pokes fun at it sometimes, and it isn't trying to convince us that like these teenagers are living some American high school movie. Like the community feels intimate and specific, and that makes the world feel so much more authentic. And like especially like growing or like living in Toronto now, like I've never been to Muskoka either, but like I know the type of people that go to Muskoka and like cottage culture, I guess.
And
but yeah,
I feel like they even touched on it where they're like, oh, I've seen Kai Gerber here, and like a lot of billionaires and like celebrities will now go to Muskoka as like a relaxation place. And honestly, unfortunately, like buy up land and like build their own mansions on it, which Megan Park did say when they were filming they had like their pick of the mansions because like during off season no one is there. And that's when they were filming. So I was like, putting in like 20 mil to build a mansion and then not using it for, I'm just like, that kind of bread is crazy. Like truly.
Yeah, it's insane. But yeah, I really just feel like the actors like understand these characters, and like Megan Park clearly understands like the emotional dynamics between them. I also loved the set design of like the house, the cottages and the houses, and the costuming felt really authentic and real. Like nobody's wearing some bullshit clothing. Like sometimes Annie was like wearing a skirt, but I'm like, why would you wear that like on this island? But
New Jersey gal or New York gal.
She's a New York gal, but like the way that they styled Ramona and Una like made so much sense to me, and like I felt like they were such lived in characters.
But Una was dressed in like Adam Sandler at some point.
So. Which I think made so much sense for who she was.
For her character, truly.
What about you? Craft-wise?
No, I definitely agree. Megan Park never stopped writing. Please put pen to paper always. I'm a really big fan of her. Like I said, my fourth time bring up my old ass. But I just knew that once I saw that movie, I was like, I knew that she understood teens and was never trying and would never try to talk down to them in a way that would make them like make fun of them like a lot of people love to do. Eddington, looking right at you, buddy. But this show really celebrates young people and the found familyness and the relationships that can come from like just a group of kids hanging out. Does it get messy with family drama? Of course, that makes for really great TV. But beyond that, seeing how this relationship builds between um, Alice and Annie and Rory and Annie and Rory and Connor because they also know each other and Annie and Ramona and Una and all these different people. Like it's really like a great time just seeing how all that unfolds. Comparing it to like other shows, I don't really watch teen shows. I have said this before, I'll say it again. Every teen show that's hot, that's been hot for the past like 4 or 5 years. The Summer I Turned Pretty, the Walter Boy something. What's another one that people are watching?
I don't know. Like, is he? I guess we already mentioned Peter
Maxton Hall.
Oh
Like,
yeah, Maxton Hall. Or yeah, it's basically anything Prime Video's putting out.
Prime Video, true. Honestly, sorry, I do not watch a lot of their teen shows, but I feel like teen shows have kind of.
I think there's just a really big resurgence of books, TV shows based and movies based on YA novels.
Yeah,
because,
but also, like, I mean, like in terms of like dialogue, I feel like with Sterling Point in general, it feels like this is how I would talk now. Like Gen Z, this is how they communicate. Yeah. It is not whatever. If you like go on a clip of like Ginny and Georgia and how they talk, I'm like, who talks like this? I don't know a single person that makes jokes like these. I'm definitely like tipping my hat off to Megan Park and her like understanding of. And maybe she sits in cafes and like genuinely just like listens into convos, and that's how she is so good at it. But whatever it is, it's incredible. It's also the improving that I've said before. But yeah, just whatever plays into getting that captured on screen is truly magical, and I love that.
Yeah.
I don't know if there are like any like bold swings that she takes with this show necessarily. I don't think so. I think the boldness is the fact that it's original. And I feel like we haven't seen that in a while. Like a lot of things that are being fed to us and will continue to be fed to us, unfortunately, because I feel like there's an announcement every single day of something new being adapted from a book.
Yeah.
And so this is like truly, I feel like also a great indication of like TV, because she could easily take this to like 8 seasons, you know, if she really wants to, and if Prime Video really allows her, and there won't be like any issue of like running out of ideas, or I guess with what happened with Game of Thrones, where it's like you kind of ran out of books to follow. But yeah, it's just overall, when it comes to craft, I think a well done and well made show.
I do feel like I would be concerned maybe about a second season, because I'm like, how much content is there without the family revelations? Like there's like the further like adult relationships to explore, which is always just interesting. But I do feel like it would have been less exciting without all of those.
Yeah.
And so I'd be curious like where they would take a second season content wise.
Well, I feel like now that people are attached to these characters, they're into the characters now. So Una and Ramona getting back together. Ramona is now in New York, right? So
yeah.
At the end of season 1, they've switched places. Annie stays. Ramona's in New York. She gets to spend time with the dad, which is really great, because I feel like that man needs some time with his actual daughter. Hello. And they get to discover who they are, like in their rightful places. Ramona can get up to some fuck shit, you know. Who knows how long season 2 will be set after season 1. It could be a day later, who the fuck knows, or like a month, or maybe even 2 years. But regardless, I think there would be, I feel like, interesting dynamics at play. And also you could introduce new characters. Like that would be really fun to see how all that plays out. I guess we'll see. Yeah, hopefully we'll see.
What is your final verdict?
2 thumbs up, heart, what are jazz hands, everything, all the above. Yeah, like I said, I think if I could rate it on Letterboxd, it'd be a 4.5. Really, really adore the show. And I also loved the scene or montage, really, when they played I Know a Place by Muna. That was great. That was everything for me.
Yes.
And I would recommend it to all the girls, all the gays, all the days, and honestly, men too. Tap in. It's just a really great show. Yeah,
It was fun. Like,
it
I
was
think
so much
anybody
fun.
would
And
have fun with it.
yeah, perfect for summer. Like start it now while we out here
Yes.
and the sun is shining and the vibes
Yeah.
are high.
I loved when they played Beggin' for Rain, Maggie Rogers. I'll eat up when they play a Maggie Rogers song in a show.
Yes. Yeah.
It's always so good. I also really liked it. I think out of 5, I'd probably give it maybe like a 3.75 to a 4, leaning in that area.
Love that 0.75.
Yeah.
Okay.
But yeah, I had a really good time. Is it like messy and occasionally clunky? Yes, but like, did I have so much fun with it and like enjoy all the characters? Absolutely, yes. I also am eating up a lot of their interview content now because they're doing like some of these like big group interviews, like where they're all together, and it's like so sweet. And I just really love their dynamic, and it's so much fun to watch real people interact, like on a show, and like feel like something is relatable.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's so cute and fun, and I love. It's another win for Canadian content.
110%.
Sterling Point, he did Rivalry. I feel like I associate adults with being Canadian just because it's filmed here and like it has
Yeah.
Jack Internet on it.
Yeah.
Overcompensating also like filmed here. Like I know it's not Canadian content, but like I don't know, I associate it with here. But yeah, we're just like pumping out a lot of good stuff recently. Good for
I
us.
know. Good for us. And also Crave's coming out with like
the lesbian baseball show.
Yes, Slow Pitch, which I'm really excited for. And also now it's premiering at TIFF, but Yaga, the one that Hudson Williams is in, which I love that he's also like doing Canadian stuff while also being like now an A-list star.
Yeah, he's not just like immediately moving to LA and like doing that.
Yeah, it's really great to see.